I found out my wife was writing erotic stories about her coworker. She whispered, "It was just fiction." I said, "Then why do I have the receipts?" I turned her cheating into a story of my own, and the whole internet read it. I'm 34, my wife's 32, and we've been married almost 6 years. Her name's Jenna. She's always been creative, used to write poetry when we were dating, then journaled a ton during the pandemic. Lately, she's been glued to her laptop every night, typing away until midnight with her headphones on and a glass of wine beside her. I figured it was work stuff or maybe a personal blog. Then came that Tuesday morning. I stayed home sick, headache, sore throat, the whole deal, and she left early for work. Said she had a meeting and might be home late. I grabbed our shared laptop since mine was updating, planning to answer a couple emails and then crash. I wasn't looking for anything. I really wasn't. But when I opened the browser, I saw a few tabs already open. A shopping site, some Pinterest board with bathroom tiles, and then one that caught my eye. MidnightChapters.com, Velvet Echo's page. Something about it just felt off, like it wasn't supposed to be seen. Curious, I clicked. It was a blog. A very active one. Clean layout, good writing, really good writing. All short stories, most of them romantic, some more sensual, and then, well, some full-blown NSFW. And not just NSFW in a generic, here's a hot scene kind of way. These were detailed, intimate, too intimate, written in the first person from a woman's point of view. Married woman. In marketing. Works long hours. Hates red wine. Loves early 2000s R&B. My heart dropped. That was Jenna. But it didn't end there. The stories kept circling around a man. A recurring character described as tall, lean, forearm tattoo, faint scar on his hand from a bike crash. That's Kyle, her coworker. I've met him a couple times at work events. Nice enough guy. Chill. Definitely the type you'd cast in a Netflix romance. But now I was reading about him gripping my wife's waist in an office conference room at midnight, making her forget her vows for just one night. That one night, according to the timestamp, was the same night she told me she was pulling an all-nighter to prep a presentation. That wasn't fiction. And this wasn't just cheating. This was a secret life. One she was publishing online. One strangers were reading and cheering for. And I was the clueless husband in the background. That was the moment something inside me snapped. Not loud. Not angry. Just ice cold. If she wanted to turn our marriage into a story, then I'd write the next chapter myself. The moment I closed the laptop, everything around me felt still. Way too still. Like the silence before a building implodes. I sat there on the couch for a long time. My mind was racing, but my body? Numb. Jenna was at work, probably smiling, answering emails, living her double life like it was nothing. Meanwhile, I was trying not to scream into a pillow. But I didn't scream. Or cry. I opened the laptop again. And I started reading. All of it. Every single post Velvet Echo ever wrote. There were dozens. The first one was dated almost 18 months ago. That alone messed me up. She'd been doing this for over a year and a half. Writing story after story about her office escape, her private rendezvous, how she remembers his scent more than her wedding vows. Some of them were extremely detailed. Others were short, poetic, more emotional than physical. But one thing stayed the same. It was always the same man. Tall. Scar on his hand. Tattoo on his wrist. Her coworker. Her bad decision. Kyle. Every time she called him that bad decision, it felt like a knife twist. Because it wasn't just a one-time slip-up. It was an ongoing choice. And she was documenting it like some erotic memoir with a comment section. I started matching story dates to real-life events. It wasn't hard. One story was posted the same night. She came home late with messed up hair and said the elevator at work got stuck. Another was posted on a weekend she went to her mom's. The location in that story? A hotel room in the mountains. And there was a line about the snow melting against their skin. Funny, because I remember it snowing that weekend and wondering why her boots were clean. The stories weren't fantasy. They were timelines. I started saving everything. Copying each post into a folder. Took screenshots of the blog layout, comments, timestamps, anything that might vanish if she suddenly went private. I wasn't sure what I was building yet, but I knew I needed evidence. Something real. Something undeniable. And while I was doing that, something in me shifted. This wasn't just betrayal. It was performance. She'd turned her affair into a piece of entertainment. For strangers. For fans. And the people in the comments, God, the comments, calling her a goddess, praising her raw vulnerability, saying her husband sounds cold and distant based on a few offhand lines in the story. They didn't know me. They didn't know anything. But you know what? I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction of a fight. No screaming. No crying. No dramatic confrontation where she flips it around and says it was just fiction, just a creative outlet, just nothing. She wanted to be an author? Fine. She just didn't realize I was a damn good editor. And I was about to rewrite the ending. By the time Jenna came home that night, dinner was already made. She kissed me on the cheek like nothing was wrong, like she hadn't been writing sex scenes about another man on her lunch break. I smiled, told her I was feeling better, asked about her meeting. She said it went really well. I bet it did. The hardest part was pretending I didn't know, but I wasn't ready to play that card yet. I needed to finish building the stage before she stepped on it. That night, while she showered, I was on her blog again. Velvet Echo. I clicked contact. The email field was blank on the surface, but I knew how to look under the hood. Quick inspect of the page source showed a contact form that linked to a Gmail address. velvetechowrites@gmail.com. Gotcha. I created a burner email of my own. No real name, no link to me. Just a clean slate. Midnight Witness 42 at. And I started a blog. Same platform. Similar layout. But mine had a twist. Each post was titled after hers, but mine included receipts. Screenshots of her posts. Cross-referenced with real-life photos, calendar events, and proof. Her story about a snowy cabin weekend matched to a hotel confirmation email in our shared inbox from that same date. The one where she writes about lipstick stains in the office bathroom mirror. I had a selfie she sent that day. Same lipstick, time-stamped. Even found an old text from Kyle thanking her for saving the pitch deck one night. The story she posted that same night ended with them on the office couch. I posted all of it, side by side, fact next to fiction. Then, I sent one email. Just one. To Kyle's fiancé. Yep, he's engaged. Found her Instagram months ago when Jenna showed me a post of their trip to Napa. Her name's Megan. I crafted the message carefully. No emotion. No threats. Just the link to the blog. Subject line. Thought you should know what your fiancé's been starring in. Then I sat back and waited. The next 48 hours were a slow-motion explosion. First came the silence. No sign anything had changed. Jenna acted normal, scrolling TikTok next to me like the world wasn't on fire. Then, Thursday morning, her phone started blowing up. Texts, calls, one after another. I watched her face pale, then turn red. Then she ran to the bedroom, slammed the door, and didn't come out for an hour. She didn't say a word to me that night. By the next morning, Kyle had deleted his Instagram. Jenna had locked hers. Velvetecho's blog, taken offline. But mine? Still up, gaining views. Fast. Someone had posted the link in a cheating support group, then a writing forum, then a few drama subreddits. People were sharing it, commenting, DMing me their own stories. I didn't respond. I didn't post anything new. I just watched it spread. And at dinner, Jenna finally asked, voice shaky, "Have you been on the internet today?" I looked at her, calm as ever, and said, "Why? Did something fictional happen?" She didn't say anything right away after I hit her with that line. Just stared at me. I kept eating like nothing was wrong. Quiet, measured bites. Stir fry, if I remember right. Something spicy. Fitting. Her voice cracked a little when she finally spoke. "You're scaring me." That was rich. She'd written entire stories about a man who wasn't me touching her in places I haven't in months. But I was the scary one? I set my fork down, looked her dead in the eyes. "Velvet Echo. That's you, right?" She blinked. Once. Twice. The blood drained from her face. "Where did you?" she started, but I held up my hand. "Don't lie. I've read every story. Every post. I've got them all backed up, by the way. Even the ones you took down." Silence. I let it hang there. Let her sit in it. "I've also seen the timestamps. Matched them to your calendar. Your texts. Even that cabin girls' weekend. You paid with our joint credit card, Jenna. You didn't even try to hide it." That's when the tears started. Quiet at first. The kind of cry where you don't want to admit you're crying. Her lips were trembling. She looked like she wanted to crawl out of her skin. "I didn't mean for it to become real," she said finally, voice barely a whisper. "It started as writing, just writing. And then what?" I said. "He slipped and fell into you? Don't do that." "Oh, I'm sorry." Would you prefer I write a short story about it instead? Maybe give it a cool title like Submission Form? Her face crumpled, but I wasn't done. Not even close. I stood up and walked into the living room, opened the drawer of the side table, and pulled out a folder. Dropped it on the table with a soft thud. In it, printed copies of every post. Highlighted, annotated, matched to receipts, photos, messages, calendar events. This is your book, I said. The one you didn't ask me to read. And I gotta say, the character development sucks. She didn't move. Just sat there, sobbing now, hands covering her face. Why didn't you just leave me? I asked softer this time. If you were that unhappy, why turn our marriage into entertainment for horny strangers? She didn't answer. And to be honest, I don't think there was an answer. Not one that would have made any of this okay. She begged me not to tell anyone. Said it would ruin her career, her life, everything. I told her it wasn't up to me anymore. The blog was already out there. The readers? They're watching now. And if she thought fiction was powerful, wait till she sees how fast the truth spreads. The next morning was quiet. Too quiet. Jenna didn't come out of the bedroom. She hadn't slept. I heard her pacing half the night, whispering into her phone, crying, deleting and undeleting things on her laptop. I didn't go in. I had nothing left to say. I made myself coffee, sat at the counter, checked the blog. Mine, not hers. Midnight Witness 42. It had tripled in traffic overnight. There were comments now. Dozens. Then hundreds. My ex did the same thing. I didn't find a blog. I found a secret Reddit account. Bro, this is genius. Actual proof next to the stories? She played herself. I'm so sorry, but thank you for putting this out there. It made me feel less alone. And then the one that really hit. This is art. Weaponized storytelling. You turned betrayal into justice. I didn't reply to any of them, but I bookmarked that one. Around noon, Jenna emerged. Eyes puffy, hair a mess, still wearing the same hoodie from the night before. She looked smaller. I lost 2 clients this morning, she said, voice hoarse. Someone forwarded them the blog. Said I'm unprofessional. Said I'm unstable. I said nothing. And Kyle's fiancée, Megan? She moved out. Blocked him on everything. Still nothing. She told our HR director about the blog. She sent screenshots. Kyle's getting investigated. And they might fire me. She looked up at me, desperate. Jamie, please. You made your point. You got your revenge, okay? Please don't let it go further. I just stared at her. For a long time. Then finally, quietly. It was never about revenge. She frowned. Then what? I shrugged. It was about the truth. The real version. The one you buried under fiction. She sank onto the couch. Arms around her knees like a kid. I don't know who I am anymore. That's the only honest thing you've said in months, I replied. Later that evening, I got an email. From a publisher. No joke. They'd found my blog. Wanted to talk. Said the concept, a man discovering his wife's secret online life and documenting the emotional wreckage in real time, was raw, gripping, deeply human. Asked if I'd be open to turning it into something bigger. A memoir. A docu-series. Something. I didn't reply. Not yet. But I thought about it. Because the irony was too perfect. Jenna wanted to be a writer. She wanted a story. Now she was one. A month passed. Jenna moved out. No screaming fight. No shattered dishes. She just packed a few bags, said she was giving me space, and never came back. I didn't stop her. I didn't even ask where she went. We talked through lawyers after that. Civilly. Quietly. She didn't contest anything. It was like even she knew she'd burn the whole bridge down and was lucky I didn't toss gasoline on the rest of her life. Kyle ended up quitting before the investigation was done. Rumor is he fled to another city. His fiancée, Megan, still hasn't posted anything since her "thank you for the support" story highlight on Instagram. But from what I've heard, she's doing better. Stronger. Fiercer. The blog? Mine's still up. Still anonymous. Still steady traffic. Still getting messages. People telling me their stories. Telling me it helped. That it felt like someone finally fought back with words instead of yelling or crying. I never added anything after that last entry. Didn't need to. The ending had already been written. But a week ago, something happened. I got another story submission in the inbox. No name, no subject, just a Google Doc link. I almost ignored it. But curiosity wins sometimes. I opened it. It was written in her style. Jenna's style. Soft, emotional, borderline poetic. The story was about a woman whose husband saw too much and said too little. A man who didn't yell, Didn't break anything, didn't call her names. He just held up a mirror and let her watch herself fall apart. He never screamed, never cried. That was the worst part. He just left me alone with the version of me I tried to pretend wasn't real. There was no name at the end. Just one word. Italicized. Unwritten. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I uploaded it to the blog. Unedited. No comment. No intro. But I added one tag at the bottom. Hashtag authored by Karma. The next morning, I finally emailed the publisher back. Told them I was in. But on one condition. I keep the final word. Because some stories only end when you decide to close the book.